Hi friends, I'm Jocelyn Peters. I'm the maker and designer behind Mountain Song Designs, and welcome to this episode. You guys, it's been a while and I have been knitting all the things. I can't wait to share them with you, and I have two books. Unfortunately, one of them is making me say something that I hate to say. I was wrong. It hurts to say, but if you watch until the end, when I chat about some books, I will tell you why one makes me say that. So let's get to it. First, I'd like to share with you a few designs that I have either been working on or projects that I have been finishing up related to some designs. First one, I finished my Falliday Cowl. This is my Christmas version in Gnome Acres present locator and eggnog. Perfect for Christmas. See my little Christmas trees. This is made to go for all of the fall and winter holidays, and I so enjoyed wearing this all day on Christmas and plenty of other times over the Christmas holiday. It was lovely, kept me warm, and I don't know about you, but it's really chilly here right now. So having extra cowls and extra wool to put around me has been so nice. And if it is cold where you are, I hope you're staying warm. But let's move on to, I've made a couple of these, and I don't have them here because I gifted them. I made a couple of my Falliday Cowl hats. This is in the worsted weight Falliday. Fairlea, sorry, the Fairlea Hat. I made it in a bright orange color, made two of them. I have more that I'm going to be making. These were such a handy last minute gift. And with this weather, it's perfect for keeping heads warm. The pattern is written for worsted weight. It is also written for fingering weight. It's a pretty basic ribbed hat, but oh my goodness, it fits the whole family, literally. It has a knit palm, which these days, I guess you don't need your own indoor snowballs. You can just go outside for the snow. But if you wanted it, it could be a pom-pom or an inside snowball. But these, I really enjoyed making some of the worsted weight. It's a really nice go-to hat when I need a quick gift. So I made that. Now I want to show you some patterns that are recently added to my Etsy and my Ravelry stores. On Etsy, I am MTN Song Designs, and on Ravelry, you'll find me under Jocelyn Peters or Mountain Song Designs. So I have the Whomping Willow cowl, of course, for Harry Potter. The Whomping Willow, you see the leaves. And this is a nice bulky weight. This colorway is called Christmas at Hogwarts, which is perfect for the Whomping Willow. I love the Whomping Willow scenes. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. And like the bird, the poor bird. But anyway, the Whomping Willow cowl, it's also in a short version. This is Lolo Did It yarn, her bulky base. I believe this is blue suede shoes. And like I said, Christmas at Hogwarts. It's so cozy and squishy. Recently added to my shops. Also, another pattern that I recently added as well. Look at that. It's a sweater ornament. It's called Diamonds in Snow. I got my dolls here because they fit dolls too. But see, check it out on my little Barbie here. A snowflake pattern or the diamond pattern. So Diamonds in Snow. Sweater ornament. I usually just kind of toss these on the tree and they just sit on the Christmas tree. I don't even need a hanger, although I have made hangers out of, I forget the gauge of wire. It's pretty easy to kind of wind them up, or you can find them for sale, sweet little hangers. And sometimes I hang them around the house. I keep these out year round. I think they're adorable. Also, I made a couple others on it's also written for a single color. You don't have to do color work if you don't feel like it. It's a DK weight, so it's super fast. And as you can see, it fits Barbies. So It also fits your elf on a shelf. So if you are looking to have something that you want to make throughout the year, maybe you have DK scraps. The single color took about 15 grams. Yours may take a little bit more. The color weight used more like 20 grams. So it depends on what your yarn base is, and yeah, 70 yards should do you just fine. But yeah, that I keep looking at them. I think they're so cute, these girls. So if you saw my Instagram, I shared a picture of these girls hanging out in their Barbie house with their cute sweaters on. So those are both for sale, the Diamonds and Snow sweater, Ornament, and the Whomping Willow warmer. So those are both fun projects for in the snow too. So that's that. What's next? Okay. Next, let's move on to some things that I am working on that will be coming out soon, in the next couple of months. First of all, I have a new sock pattern. These are Hatching Love socks. How cute is this colorway to begin with? It's mustache. Love mustache yarn, daily eggs, and check it out. It's a basket, and inside the basket there's an egg. And inside the egg, there's a heart. It's a love heart, and it's gonna hatch love. So these are adorable, and they're sport weight. These are sport weight socks, and they go so fast. But the cool thing about it, the numbers worked out, and it will work for fingering weight yarn. I've been trying it, and it will work. It is not the same, and sorry, it is not the same, and I think it's best on sport. I just think it's best on sport, but it does work with fingering if that's your preference. And here's how it looks. This is also mustache, and this is the Fay Queen colorway, I believe it's called. So pretty. I love using mustache yarn. So cool little heel. So it does work on fingering. It's best on sport, but it's, you know me, I like things that will, that are versatile for yarn weights. If I can make it versatile, I definitely will, because I like having options when I'm knitting, you know, any pattern. I like to get a little creative or use what I have. And so I want to do that for you guys too. So watch for that. That will be coming out, let's see, in about a month. It'll be coming out in about a month. If you would like the best discount on my patterns, you need to go to Substack. I love writing, and I write about weekly, once a week. I've been doing a Healthy Habits series, because, you know, it's January and that's what everyone does right now. But if you go to Substack, Mountain Song Designs, subscribe, and then you'll get a weekly email from me. But when I have a pattern come out, that is where I put the best discount. So you need to go to the Substack post that day. The best discount doesn't last very long. So you gotta, if it comes to your email, it's the best way to get it. So if you like saving money, then subscribe on Substack, Mountain Song Designs. So that is the sock pattern. The next month in March, I have, where'd it go? Hang on. Okay. So the next month in March, I have this scarf coming out. I shared this with you. It's been a little while. I've had to postpone it a little bit, but it's fine. It's actually better. So this is an adorable scarf. It's the Deci Scarf. It looks way more complicated than it is. This is so easy. And it'll fly, but it's also squishy. It's reversible. Oh my gosh, you're gonna love it. So that's coming out in March. And then I have the yarn for the April that's gonna be sort of a sibling pattern to this. It'll be a cowl. Do you wanna see the colors? I wanna show them. I'm not gonna tell you what this represents, but it's out in time for the beginning of May. That's your clue. So this is what I'm working on. I also have a blanket that I have been working on. It's been a long time coming. I've been working through it and trying to make it really awesome. And I'm getting to the point where I'm getting it all figured out. So I have been working really hard on that. So you won't see maybe as much knitting as you would think I would get done in a month and a half, but just know there's plenty of knitting going on. I'm just not quite ready to share it with you. So that is what is in my lineup for my knitting and for designs. There's so much. I have everything. Like, I have an idea, an overarching plan for the year, and I'm so excited about it. Now, if you enjoy test knitting and you'd like to join our test knitting group, I have a really lovely group. You are welcome to join us. New people are always welcome. I have a form that you fill out just so I have your information. It's a Google form. It's in the description. You could also check out Instagram. I'm Mountain Song Designs on Instagram, and in my profile, there's a list of links and it's linked there too. So that is that. Let's move on to other things that I'm knitting. The next thing I'd like to share with you is a sock that I cast on over the break. I wanted something that was kind of just for fun, maybe work through a couple of ideas, bring together some things I've done in past designs, but it's just for me, just for fun. And this is it. This is Leaning Men Fiber Arts. Moonstone is the gorgeous purple, and then Black Walnut is that pretty deep brown color. Cool little heel. This is on my Coffee and a Sunrise sock, which I have here. See, Coffee and a Sunrise, see the heel. I love this heel. This is also Leaning Men Fiber Arts, also Moonstone. Named for a song, lyrics in a song by my cousin, Charles Wesley Godwin. Great song. Yeah. So this, I have a cuff of the second sock, and I need to start the heel soon, and I just haven't done the heel yet. I've been doing other things, but I'm gonna get back to it and do it. I love shorty socks. It's nice to have this vanilla, but it's still a little fancy because it's got a little bit going on, but just nice, easy going. So that is, it doesn't even have a name, just some purple socks for fun. Also, my Shapeshifter shrug. I have been showing this to you. Lots of SHs there. And look, I have a lot more knit. So all of the lace is done, and I'm up into the stockinette. Now, it's stockinette for a good ways. I'm about halfway, maybe close to halfway, so I have this much more to go in stockinette. So this is the knitting. By the way, I'm doing it 2 at a time. If you want to find out more about it, I talked more about it in episode 16. It's by Sara Delaney in Vampire Knits book. Fantastic. I also reviewed this book in episode 16, so definitely check that out if you're interested. I love this book. But since I've been making the Shapeshifter shrug, I've also had Twilight on the brain. So last month I watched the movies again, worked on this, and among other things. And I'm also kind of re-listening to the books just as they come available from the library. I should just buy them because I listen to them more than any other books, which isn't a lot. I don't usually re-listen to books, but sometimes I just like having something on that I know what's going to happen. It's like, you know, hanging out with a friend. Like, it's low stress. You can just hang out with them. And if you have to keep talking to your kids over and over and turn them off, it's totally fine. So I've been working through those books again, and it's fun knitting the Shapeshifter Shrug, especially with New Moon. I just finished New Moon, and that's where Jacob does all of his things. No spoilers here, right? Because everyone's already read it, maybe. Anyway, now something I'm not going to show you today, but hopefully next time, my Bloomsbury sweater. I got another couple inches, but it's not much to show. I stopped because I guess you could call it analysis paralysis. Like, I got into the place where I couldn't decide if I wanted to do the body decreases, which seems like a silly thing to just stop a project for a month over, but I just couldn't decide. And 2 days ago, I decided, and I'm not going to do them. I'm just going to knit the sweater, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm not going to stress out over it. I'm just going to knit it. So I got that out, and I will get back to that. Hopefully I'll have at least a few inches to show you by the next time. So there's that, and my last one is a new cast on. This is a prayer shawl. Now, there isn't much of it yet. It's crocheted. It is a pattern and yarn that I was given by our church. It's the church provides all of that. I had a moment where I was very worried. I even had to rip out a whole row because I thought that I was given 4 full skeins, and this is the whole skein, and I was worried because this 4 times 8 inches is not going to make a shawl. So I finally got out my craft scale, which if you don't have one of those, go get one. They are so handy. And I weighed it, and it's only a half skein. So I guess they gave us 3.5 skeins because that's what we need for the project. It did not occur to me to check that first. It's always good to weigh your yarn before you get started, right? So that was a lesson. Of course, there's no gauge listed on the pattern, so I was worried that maybe something was wrong, but it's not. So I'm gonna get back to that. I think I did most of this in one day. Might have been 2. I don't know. The days kind of blended together there in December. It got a little crazy, but easy, straightforward, nice and relaxing. So that is what I'm working on. So let's move on to my pattern library. All right, today my pattern library is going to be a single pattern. I'm not sharing a whole big book like I do sometimes. Today it's this cowl. This is, here, check this out. This is called In Light of Luna. It's by Kay Litton. She is the crazy sock lady, a fellow West Virginian, or she's originally from West Virginia, which is always fun to find other mountaineers. But this is In Light of Luna cowl colorwork. This is Lolo Did It yarn. I think it's Everyday Sock, Blue Suede Shoes, King Neptune, and Bumble, I think. I decided a couple of years ago that I wanted to get good at color work because I had done some and I just couldn't get my gauge right. Like it just felt like a mess. Like it was too tight or it was too loose. And you know, it's something that I still, it's one of those types of techniques that I think I will probably always be tweaking to get just perfect. But I used this as my opportunity to just do it and make any mistakes I needed to, try different techniques for how to hold the yarn. I figured out the way that I liked to hold the yarn. I use one hand. I knit continental, and I just figured I found a way just using the yarn in one hand that worked best for me. I tried 2 hands. I tried like all the different ways that I looked up all the videos, but this was my learning opportunity. And I figure It's the beginning of the year. It's the perfect time to try new things. So if you are someone who is considering trying new things, this is what I learned on, and I really enjoyed it. It isn't perfect, but I love it, and it's okay. So that is In Light of Luna. It was designed for a book that I have not read, but I feel like I probably should. If I've knit the thing from it, I feel like I should read it. So maybe someday, but that is from my pattern library. Let's move on to books. Okay, I have 2 books to share with you. And the first one kind of goes along with the prayer shawl because it is a biblical fiction book. I didn't know that was a genre, but I found this book through the library. It is called The Hidden Prince by Tessa Afshar. And I've told you before, you may not have seen the episode, but I homeschool my kids, and this year we are studying ancient history. And I love reading books, historical fiction, that lets me live in the place and time that I'm studying. It lets me feel like I've lived it. I remember it better. It feels like I was there. And there aren't a whole lot of historical fiction books about like ancient history. Like Jane Austen didn't write about Mesopotamia, you know? So I saw this, and I actually saw another book of hers. It's the next one, but I thought, well, that sounds really interesting. It's set in Babylon, and they end up going all through Persia and different areas of Mesopotamia, but it's a really fascinating book. It's biblical fiction, so it's based on fact, biblical times, King Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel from the Bible is in it, a number of other biblical characters, I guess, people from the Bible are in it. And it brings it to life. It lets you feel like you are there walking around with them. You see the houses, you see the food, you smell the food. And I really enjoyed it. It is a romance, but it's considered clean romance. I wouldn't even call it closed door necessarily. I guess you might call it that, but it was a love story. Which I really enjoyed, and it tells the story of this young girl and her trials and tribulations, but she ends up continuing her faith in God, and she has a journey, and it's about the people around her, and she ends up filling a really important role that God had for her in this lifetime, in his greater scheme. Each chapter starts with a different Bible verse that kind of sets the tone for the chapter. So if you're someone who is not interested in the Bible at all or biblical times, it probably isn't for you, but I really enjoyed it. So if that's, if learning more about biblical characters, or at least feeling like you sat in the same room as them, whether or not it is actually perfectly factual or just based on historical documents, which this book was. It may or may not be true, but it's what the author researched and found. It was really interesting. I enjoyed it, and I'm going to read the next book that follows this. Again, it's The Hidden Prince by Tessa Afshar. So that was lovely. Now, onto the book that makes me have to admit that I was wrong, because it's so good. Oh my goodness. Skandar and the Phantom Rider. Now, if you watched episode 9, I talked about Skandar and the Unicorn Thief. I also talked about Fourth Wing in that episode. Loved both the books. Loved them. Skandar and the Phantom Rider by A.F. Steadman. So last time I talked about Iron Flame, and I loved Iron Flame, but I made the comment that you expect a second book to have a lot of exposition, a lot of chatty, like let's take the story and keep it going and just talk a lot. Yeah, no, you don't have to expect that. You can expect a fantastic, sleek, exciting second book, because that is what Skandar and the Phantom Rider is. It's fantastic. Now, I listened to this with my kids. The audiobook is awesome. It's appropriate for kids, which is nice when you are in the car a lot with kids. And it's so fun. You know, it gets intense, and you know, the story progresses and you aren't quite sure about things, and then you know, it's very satisfying. It sets up for the next book in a really lovely way. But it was a delight. And I didn't stop and think, oh, I wish they would get through this explanation. It was just story, and a really solid one. So absolutely, absolutely check out Skandar. He's so fun. He's sort of like Harry Potter with unicorns, but like awesome unicorns. So that is my book review. I hope that you try both of these books if they sound interesting. The Hidden Prince and Skandar and the Phantom Rider, both fantastic. So that's what I have for today. Thank you so much, so much for joining me. If you have subscribed, thank you. I appreciate you. And please consider, if you haven't already, you'll also find me on Instagram, Mountain Song Designs, on Substack, Mountain Song Designs, and my patterns are for sale on Ravelry and Etsy, MTN Song Designs, and Jocelyn Peters or Mountain Song Designs. So thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you on the next one. Sláinte and happy knitting.
Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads.